A quiet black woman named Mara was branded a thief over $23 until a cowboy discovered the old accusation had no witness, no evidence, and no trial. But just when Seth thought he could uncover the truth, Mara vanished, and then a man appeared carrying the same $23 that had ruined her life. What happened next, and who was really behind it? Watch the full video and subscribe to our page to find out. Before we start the story, tell me in the comments, where are you listening from, and what time is right now? By the time Seth Caldwell reached Red Hollow, Kansas, the rain had almost stopped. His bay mare, Juniper, was tired after a long day of pushing cattle across dry pasture. Seth's shoulders ached, his coat was wet, and his hands smelled of leather and rope. He tied Juniper outside Silas Greer's boarding house and stepped inside, hoping for a hot meal and a quiet night. The room was crowded and warm. Wood smoke filled the air. Travelers talked over cards, freight drivers argued about the muddy roads, and coffee boiled on the old stove. Then Seth noticed her. Her name was Mara Bell. She moved quietly between the tables, carrying heavy plates, filling cups, giving biscuits to hungry men, and helping anyone who needed something. She remembered every customer's order, yet almost nobody thanked her. She wore a plain brown cotton dress with a small repaired tear near one sleeve. Her dark hair was pinned back, though one loose strand rested against her cheek. On the back of her hand was an old burn mark. Greer called from behind the counter. "Mara!" She stopped immediately. "Yes, Mr. Greer." Seth noticed something strange. She never looked directly at anyone for long. When she reached his table, she kept her eyes lowered. "Stew?" she asked. "That sounds fine." "And cornbread?" "If you have some." "I'll bring it." A few minutes later, Mara returned with a bowl of hot stew and a thick square of golden cornbread. Seth broke off a piece. The crust gave a soft crack beneath his fingers. The inside was warm and tender. He took one bite, then another. He stopped. The taste brought back memories of his younger days, before his father had nearly lost Caldwell Ranch, before his home had become painfully quiet, and before the woman he once planned to marry had left him for a banker who promised her an easier life. Seth looked at the cornbread. "This is the finest cornbread I've tasted in years." Mara froze. For 1 second she looked at him. There was surprise in her eyes, and something else. Hope. But she quickly hid it. "Thank you," she whispered. Later that evening, Seth saw something that stayed in his mind. Behind the boarding house, Mara found Mrs. Miller's little boy standing barefoot in the cold mud. The child was shivering. Mara looked toward the kitchen door. Then she pulled a fresh piece of cornbread from beneath a cloth and placed it carefully in the boy's hands. It was not a leftover piece. It was the best piece. The boy hugged it against his chest. Mara smiled. Then Greer called her name. Her smile disappeared. She hurried inside. Seth watched from a distance. As he rode home that night, one thought would not leave him. If Mara gave away her food, had she eaten anything herself? 2 mornings later, Seth returned to Red Hollow. He told himself he needed lamp oil and flour. His ranch had plenty of both. His old ranch hand, Amos Pike, knew the truth. "You're going to town for cornbread, aren't you?" Seth ignored him. At the boarding house, Mara looked up when Seth entered. Recognition appeared on her face. Then caution. "Good morning," she said. "It is now," Seth replied. A tiny smile touched her lips. He ordered breakfast. While she poured his coffee, Seth said, "You can call me Seth." She hesitated. I don't think Mr. Greer would approve. I wasn't asking him. She finally looked at him. Then, Seth. Hearing his name from her lips felt strangely important. During breakfast, Seth watched her work. She helped an old traveler cut his food. She settled a crying child. She remembered every customer's needs. Then a little girl accidentally knocked over a coffee cup. The child's face went pale. I'm sorry. Greer stood up. You'll pay for that. Before the girl could cry, Mara knelt beside her. It's only coffee, she said gently. Tables are stronger than spilled cups. She cleaned the mess and placed a warm piece of cornbread on the girl's plate. Here. The child smiled. Thank you. Greer's face hardened. That bread is counted. The room became silent. Seth slowly pushed his chair back. How much? Greer stared at him. For the bread? A nickel? Seth placed several coins on the table. Then I'll buy every piece you bake today. Greer's expression tightened. You don't understand how I run my business. No, Seth said calmly. I don't understand counting kindness like stolen silver. Nobody laughed. Greer took the money. Later, Mara quietly confronted Seth. You shouldn't have done that. He embarrassed you. So did you. Seth stared at her. I was trying to help. I know. She lowered her voice. But when everyone watches, helping doesn't always feel different from being pitied. The words struck him. Seth lowered his head. You're right. I'm sorry. Mara looked surprised. He did not argue. He did not tell her what was best. He simply accepted her words. Before leaving, Seth placed a small sack of dried apples on the side table with a note. Paid in full for the finest cornbread in Red Hollow. It was payment, not charity. Mara read it. A small smile appeared. Then Greer entered carrying an old county paper. Perhaps Mr. Caldwell would like to know who baked his bread. Mara went still. Greer unfolded the document. Complaint entered at Cedar Gap. $23 missing from the household of Lyle Voss. Suspicion placed upon Maribel Bell, 16 years of age. The room fell silent. Mara's hand began to tremble. Seth looked at her. Is it true? Her eyes met his. The pain in them was quiet. No. That was all she said, but Seth instantly regretted asking. He had forced her to defend herself in the same room where Greer had spent years making her feel guilty. Mara walked away. Seth left soon after, but he could not forget her. He rode to Cedar Gap and found Sheriff Nolan Brand. The sheriff searched the old records. There was no witness statement, no recovered money, no confession, no trial, no arrest order. Nothing proving Mara had stolen anything. It was only a complaint, Nolan said, not a finding of guilt. Then why did it ruin her life? Nolan looked at him. Because gossip can finish what the law never started. Seth asked for a certified copy. Then he rode back toward Red Hollow. When he arrived, Mara was gone. Greer said she had left before sunrise. Seth searched the kitchen. Her room was nearly empty. She had taken almost nothing. Then he saw a white cloth beneath a measuring cup. Inside were 2 pieces of warm cornbread. Even after leaving, Mara had left food behind. A young kitchen girl quietly told Seth where Mara had gone. South, she whispered. Seth followed. He eventually found Mara near Cottonwood Creek, helping Mrs. Miller free a wagon stuck in deep mud. Mara was covered in dirt. Her hair had come loose. When she saw Seth, surprise crossed her face. "I thought you went home." "I did." "Then why are you here?" "I went somewhere else first." He showed her the certified paper. There was no trial, no evidence, no arrest. Mara looked away. "It changes nothing. It changes the truth." "It changes paper," she replied. "People still remember." Seth understood. Then he made her an offer. "I have a cabin at Caldwell Ranch. It has its own door. I'll pay you honest wages every Saturday, no room rent. And if you ever want to leave, you leave. No questions, no permission." Mara stared at him. "I can't." "You don't have to answer today." "I'm answering now." She looked toward the prairie. "If I go to your ranch, people will say I found another man willing to overlook my past. They'll be wrong. They'll still say it." Seth wanted to argue. Instead, he remembered her earlier words, so he simply nodded. "I hear you." For the first time, Mara looked at him with something close to trust. Then hoofbeats sounded nearby. Mara's face changed. "I know that horse." A dark-coated rider approached. It was Ben Voss, son of the family whose money had supposedly disappeared years ago. Ben smiled. "Well, Mara, I've been looking for you." Mara's voice became cold. "We have nothing to discuss." Ben pulled a small cloth pouch from his coat. Coins clinked inside. Mara went pale. "Where did you get that?" Ben smiled. "You remember it." Inside were $23, the same amount she had supposedly stolen. Then claimed the money had later been found inside a flour tin. Seth immediately noticed something wrong. Then why wasn't that mentioned in the complaint? Ben's confidence weakened. Seth pressed him. Who had entered the locked drawer? Who had the missing key? Ben finally admitted that his brother Caleb had been around the kitchen. Then Mara finally told the truth. She had sometimes taken leftover bread to 2 hungry children whose mother was sick. One night, Caleb caught her doing it. He threatened to accuse her of stealing if she ever spoke about his own bad behavior. Then the $23 disappeared. Mara had been blamed. Then tried to call her a thief. Seth stepped forward. Taking bread does not put $23 into a flour tin. Ben had no good answer. But the truth still had another layer. Mara explained what happened after she came to Red Hollow. She had told Greer about the old accusation because she believed honesty would protect her.
Instead, Greer used it against her. He charged her for rooms, flour, medicine, broken dishes, and even meals she cooked herself. Whenever she protested, he threatened to show the old complaint to other employers. Her debt never ended. Her name had become a chain. Seth looked at her. "You're right," he said quietly. Mara looked surprised. He did not promise that he could erase everything. He did not tell her to forget. He simply believed her. That night, Seth returned to Caldwell Ranch. But before dawn, a young kitchen girl arrived on horseback, frightened and exhausted. "Greer went south," she gasped. Seth stared at her. "After Mara?" The girl nodded. "He says she stole something worth more than money." "What?" The girl swallowed. "His good name." Seth understood. Greer was not finished. But neither was Mara. By the time winter began to loosen its grip on Red Hollow, the truth had finally begun to spread. Mara had her own name again. She had honest wages. She had a cabin with a lock that worked from the inside. And she had a chair beside Seth Caldwell's fire. But that chair did not mean Seth owned her. It meant she finally had a place where she could sit without owing anyone anything. Their love grew slowly. Not through grand promises, not through rescue, It grew through respect, through Seth learning to step back when Mara said no, through Mara learning that not every helping hand came with a chain, and through the simple warmth of cornbread shared at a table where, for the first time in years, Mara was not eating alone. Because sometimes love does not save you by carrying you away. Sometimes love simply sees the truth of who you are and gives you the freedom to choose where you belong. Thank you so much for watching this story all the way till the end. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. It really helps us a lot. If you want to watch more exciting stories like this, don't forget to subscribe our page right now. Tell me in the comments, where are you listening from and what time is right now? And if this story touched your heart, please send some stars. Every single star gives us huge motivation to keep creating more amazing videos for you. See you in the next story. Take care of you, friends.